የተከበሩ አሊ ከድር የስልጤ ዞን ዋና አስተዳዳሪና የዩኒቨርሲቲው የስራ አመራር ቦርድ ሰብሳቢ፣ የተከበሩ ዶክተር ኢንጂነር ተውፊቅ ጀማል የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ፕሬዝዳንት፣ የተከበራችሁ የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ የበላይ አመራር አካል፣ የተከበራችሁ የሁለቱ ተጋባዦች፣ የተከበራችሁ የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ካውንስል አባላት፣ የተከበራችሁ ከተለያዩ ዩኒቨርሲቲዎች የተጋበዛችሁ የስርዓተ ትምህርት ከሚመራና የተከበራችሁ የዩኒቨርሲቲው ስርዓተ ትምህርት አዘጋጅና አሳታፊ መምህራን፣ ክቡራትና ክቡራን፣ እንኳን በወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ወደሚካሄደው የድህረ ምረቃ የትምህርት መስኮች ስርዓተ ትምህርት ግምገማና ግብዓት ማሰባሰቢያ መድረክ በሰላም መጣችሁ እያለን ዛሬ ከዛሬ ጀምሮ ለሁለት ተከታታይ ቀናት የሚካሄደው የስርዓተ ትምህርት ግምገማና ግብዓት ማሰባሰቢያ መድረክ የመክፈቻና የምዝገባ ስነ ስርዓት በዚህ አዳራሽ የሚካሄድ ነው። በዚህ አዳራሽ የሚከተሉት መካከል እንኳን ደህና መጣችሁ መልእክት በተከበሩ ዶክተር መሐመድ አወል የአካዳሚክ ጉዳዮች ምክትል ፕሬዝዳንት የሚቀርበው ይሆናል። የመድረኩ መክፈቻ ንግግር በተከበሩ ዶክተር ኢንጂነር ተውፊቅ ጀማል የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ፕሬዝዳንት የሚቀርበው ይሆናል። የልዩ መልእክት በተከበሩ አቶ አሊ ከድር የስልጤ ዞን ዋና አስተዳዳሪና የዩኒቨርሲቲ የስራ አመራር ቦርድ ምክትል ሰብሳቢ ካሪኩለም በ21ኛው ሴሚስተር በመድረስ በተከበሩ ዶክተር አሉላ በቀለ በጅማ ዩኒቨርሲቲ የስርዓተ ትምህርት ተመራማሪና መምህር የሚቀርቡ ይሆናል። ከሻይ ረፍት በኋላ በተከበሩ ዶክተር ድንኳና በከፍተኛ ትምህርትና ኦዲትና ጥራት ማጎልበት ዳይሬክተር ስርዓተ ትምህርትና ከትምህርት ጥራት አንጻር በሚል ይቀርቡና የዩኒቨርሲቲው የድህረ ምረቃ ትምህርት ቤት ዳራ በመምህር መሐመድ ኢሳ የድህረ ምረቃ ትምህርት ቤት የሚቀርብ ይሆናል። በመቀጠል ወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ዳራ በረዳት ፕሮፌሰር አንዋር አህመድ የማህበረሰብን የምርምርና ማህበረሰብ አገልግሎት ምክትል ፕሬዝዳንት ይቀርቡና የማጠቃለያ ሪፖርት ከዛ በኋላ የፓራል ሴክሽን በዝግጅቶቻችን በአራት እንዲሁም በተለያዩ አዳራሾች የሚካሄዱ ይሆናል። ከአራት አዳራሾች ቆይታ በኋላ የአራቱ አዳራሽ ቆይታ ማጠቃለያ በዚህ አዳራሽ ከነገ ጠዋት ከ5 ሰዓት ጀምሮ የሚካሄድና የምስጋናና የእውቅና መርሃ ግብር የሚከተል ይሆናል። የምስጋና ንግግር በዶክተር ኢንጂነር ተውፊቅ ጀማል ወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ፕሬዝዳንት የሚቀርብ ሲሆን የሁለት ቀን የዕለታችን መርሃ ግብር ይሄን ይመስላሉ። አሁን እንኳን ደህና መጣ መልእክት እንዲያስተላልፉልን የተከበሩ ዶክተር መሐመድ አወልን ጋብዛለሁ። አመሰግናለሁ።
የተከበሩ አቶ አሊ ከድር የስልጤ ዞን ዋና አስተዳዳሪና የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ስራ አመራር ሰብሳቢ፣ ክቡር ዶክተር ኢንጂነር ተውፊቅ ጀማል የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ፕሬዝዳንት፣ ክቡር ዶክተር ድንኳና በከፍተኛ ትምህርት ተግባብነትና ጥራት ኤጀንሲ የጥራት ኦዲትና የማጎልበቻ ዳይሬክተር፣ ክቡራንና ክቡራት የፌዴራል ከክልል ከዞን እና ከወረዳዎች ተቀባዮች የተገኛችሁ የመንግስት የስራ ኃላፊዎች፣ ክቡራትና ክቡራን የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ፕሬዝዳንቶች፣ የሴኔት አባላት፣ እንዲሁም የካውንስል አባላት፣ ክቡራትና ክቡራን ከተለያዩ ዩኒቨርሲቲዎች ተጋብዛችሁ የተገኛችሁ አንጋፋ ምሁራን፣ ክቡራትና ክቡራት የዚህ ጉባኤ ታዳሚዎች፣ በአጠቃላይ ከሁሉ አስቀድሜ ዩኒቨርሲቲያችን ባዘጋጀው በዚህ የድህረ ምረቃ ስርዓተ ትምህርት ግምገማ ወርክሾፕ በመታደም በመገኘታችሁ የተሰማኝን ልባዊ ደስታ እየገለጽኩ እንኳን ደህና መጣችሁ ለማለት እወዳለሁ። ክቡራን እንግዶቻችን፣ ክቡራትና ክቡራን፣ በዩኒቨርሲቲያችን ታሪክ የስርዓተ ትምህርት ግምገማ ማስተቸት መርሃ ግብር ሲካሄድ ይህ የመጀመሪያው አይደለም። ከዚህ ቀደም 2 መርሃ ግብሮች አከናውነናል። ይሁን እንጂ ይህ ለሶስተኛ ጊዜ የሚከናወነው የድህረ ምረቃ ማስተቸትና ማስገምገም ፕሮግራም በአንድ ጊዜ በዛ ያሉ የስርዓተ ትምህርቶችን በማስገምገም ይህ የመጀመሪያውን ስፍራ የሚይዝና ብዙ አባላትና ከተለያየ አካባቢ የተለያየ አቅምና ብቃት ያላቸው ሰዎች በመታደማቸው ዕለቱን ከአለፉት እና ከቀደሙት የተለየ ያደርገዋል። ዛሬ በቁጥር በርከት ያለ የድህረ ምረቃ ስርዓተ ትምህርቶች ለማስገምገም ይቀርባሉ። ነባር 4 አዲስ 12 ድምሩ 16 የድህረ ምረቃ ስርዓተ ትምህርቶች የሚገመገሙበት መርሃ ግብር ይሆናል። እነዚህ የድህረ ምረቃ ፕሮግራሞች የገሙ ስርዓተ ትምህርቶች እዚህ ከመድረሳቸው በፊት ሕጉና ደግሞ የሚጠይቀው ማለት ያለባቸው መስገጅ ሁሉ አልፈው እዚህ የደረሱ ናቸው። ሁሉም ስርዓተ ትምህርቶች በዝግጅት ምዕራፍ የፍላጎት ዳሰሳ ጥናት የተካሄደባቸው በዩኒቨርሲቲው የድህረ ምረቃ ካውንስል እውቅና ፈቃድ የተሰጣቸውና የፍላጎት ዳሰሳ ጥናት ከማድረግ አንስቶ ስርዓተ ትምህርቶቹ ተቀርጸው ዳብረው ዛሬ ለግምገማ ተዘጋጅተው የሚቀርቡት በአጠቃላይ 16 ያላነሱ የድህረ ምረቃ ፕሮግራሞች ናቸው። በዚህ ጉባኤ በእነዚህ ስርዓተ ትምህርቶች ዙሪያ ብዙ ግብአት ይሰበሰባል ተብሎ ይጠበቃል። ከተለያዩ የኢትዮጵያ ትምህርት ተቋማት ተጋብዛችሁ እዚህ የተገኛችሁ ባለብዙ ተሞክሮ ሆነ በምታደርጉ ተሳትፎ ስርዓተ ትምህርቶቹ ወደ ሙሉነት ደርሰው በቅርቡ ወደ ተግባር እንደሚሸጋገሩ ተስፋ እናደርጋለን። ከዚህም ጎን ለጎን ምናልባት በመድረኩ ብዙ ምሁራን የተገኙ ስለሆነ መድረኩ ከፍ ያለ መድረክ እና ብዙ ግብአት የሚገኙበት እንደሚሆን ይጠበቃል። ቆይታችን የተሳካ እንዲሆን የሁላችሁንም ተሳትፎ እንጠይቃለን። ፕሮግራማችን ለ2 ቀናት የሚቆይ ነው። ቅድም ማስታወቅ እንደተገለጸው በዚህ ቦታው ክፍለ ጊዜ የመክፈቻውን ስነ ስርዓት ተከትሎ 2 አንጋፋ ምሁራን በሁለት የተለያዩ ርዕሶች ትምህርት ነክ መልዕክቶች ያስተላልፋሉ። ዶክተር አዱላ ዩኒቨርሲቲ፣ ዶክተር ብንጻና ከሄርካ ወይም ከከፍተኛ ትምህርት አግባብነትና ጥናት ኤጀንሲ የሚያቀርቧቸው መልዕክቶች ለሁላችንም ትምህርት ሰጪ ይሆናሉ ብለን እናስባለን። መድረኩ የመማማሪያ በመሆኑ ሁላችንም ተጠቃሚ እንደምንሆን ተስፋ እያደረግን ወደ ፕሮግራማችን ስንሻገር የፕሮግራሙን የመክፈቻ ንግግር እንዲያሰሙ እና የዞኑን ዋና አስተዳዳሪ የሆኑትን አቶ አሊከትን መልዕክት እንዲያስተላልፉ እንዲጋበዙ የዩኒቨርሲቲያችንን ፕሬዝዳንት ዶክተር ኢንጂነር ጀማልን ወደ መድረክ ጋብዛለሁ። በተበደልሽን
ክቡር አቶ አሊ ከድር የስልጤ ዞን ዋና አስተዳዳሪ እና የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ የስራ አመራር ቦርድ ሰብሳቢ፣ ክቡር ዶክተር ድኩሃና ንጉሳ በከፍተኛ ትምህርት አግባብነትና ጥራት ኤጀንሲ የጥራት ኦዲት ማገዘት ዳይሬክተር፣ ክቡራን እና ክቡራን ከፌዴራል ከክልል ከዞኑ ተጋብዛችሁ የመጣችሁ የመንግስት የስራ ኃላፊዎች፣ ክቡራን የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ምክትል ፕሬዝዳንቶች፣ ክቡራትና ክቡራን ከተለያዩ ዩኒቨርሲቲ የተጋበዛችሁ ምሁራን፣ የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ካውንስልና የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ካውንስልና የተደረጋችሁ እንግዶች በሙሉ በቅድሚያ ዩኒቨርሲቲያችን ካዘጋጀው በዚህ የድህረ ምረቃ ስርዓት ትምህርት ግምገማ መርሃ ግብር ላይ ለመታደም እዚህ የተገኛችሁ ሁሉ እንኳን ደህና መጣችሁ። አበይሮ ቤት ማቃወ ለማለት ፈልጋለሁ። እንደሚታወቀው የአንድ አገር ልማት ያለ ትምህርት መስፋፋት እውን ሊሆን አይችልም። መንግስትም ይህንን በወቅቱ ተገንዝቦና ተረድቶ ለከፍተኛ ትምህርት ፍትሃዊ መስፋፋትና ተደራሽነት እንዲሁም ጥራት በትኩረት እየሰራ ሲሆን በዘርፉ አመርቂ ውጤት እየተመዘገበ ይገኛል። በተለይ ባለፉት ተከታታይ ዓመታት መንግስትና የዘርፉ ሚኒስቴር መስሪያ ቤት በትምህርት ጥራት ላይ ትኩረት አድርጎ እየሰራ ሲሆን በዚህ ዩኒቨርሲቲዎች ያላቸው የሰው ኃይል አደረጃጀት፣ የውስጥ አቅም፣ ልምድ፣ ቆይታና ሌሎች ተዛማጅ መስፈርቶችን በአማከለ መልኩ በጥልቀት በመመልከትና ነቂ መስፈርቶችን በማጋለጥ የከፍተኛ ትምህርት ተቋማትን በአምስት ካቴጎሪዎች ጎራ በመደልደል የትምህርት ጥራትን ከማስጠበቅ አንጻር የሚስተዋሉ ችግሮችን በአንክሮ ለመፍታት እያከናወነ የሚገኘው ስራ ለዘርፉ የትምህርት ጥራት መረጋገጥ መንግስት ምን ያህል ትኩረት ሰጥቶ እየሰራ መሆኑን የሚያመላክት ነው። የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ከአምስቱ ካቴጎሪዎች ጎሮች ከአጠቃላይ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ተርታ የተሰለፈ ሲሆን ዩኒቨርሲቲው ለሀገር ለውጥና ልማት ምላሽ የሚሰጡ የትምህርት ፕሮግራሞችን በመክፈት ችግር ፈቺ ጥናትና ምርምሮችን በማካሄድ ቴክኖሎጂዎችን በማላመድና ወደ ማህበረሰቡ በማሸጋገር ከምንም በላይ ደግሞ ተማሪዎችን በእውቀትና በክህሎት ብቁ ሆነው እንዲወጡ ብቃት ያላቸው መምህራን በመቅጠር እና በቂ ግብዓት በማሟላት እንዲሁም ምቹ የማስተማሪያ ቦታ በማዘጋጀት ጠንካራና እየበለ የሚያሰኝ አበረታች ተግባራትን እየሰራ ሲሆን በሂደቱ የነበሩት ክፍተቶችና ጉድለቶች ለማሟላት ለማድረስ በትኩረት እየተንቀሳቀሰ ይገኛል። በተለይም ዩኒቨርሲቲያችን ከዩኒቨርሲቲዎች ዋነኛ ተልዕኮ ውስጥ የመማር ማስተማር ተልዕኮ አንጻር እውቀት ለልቀት በሚል መሪ ቃል መሰረት ለሀገር ለወገንና ለራሳቸው ከፍ ሲልም ለዓለም እንዲተርፉ በእውቀት የበለጸጉ በምግባር የታነጹ ምሩቃንን ለማፍራት በከፍተኛ ተነሳሽነት እየሰራ ያለ ሲሆን ለዚህም ማሳያ ምንም እንኳን ዩኒቨርሲቲው ከተቋቋመ ገና 4 ዓመት ያስቆጠረ ቢሆንም በ2010 መማር ማስተማሩ ስራ በ4 ኮሌጆች ብቻ የጀመረ ቢሆንም በአሁኑ ወቅት ወደ 6 ኮሌጅ፣ 2 ትምህርት ቤቶች፣ 1 ኢንስቲትዩት እና በቅድመ ምረቃና በድህረ ምረቃ ፕሮግራም ጨምሮ 46 ትምህርት ክፍሎችን በመክፈት ከ7000 በላይ ተማሪዎችን እያስተማረ ይገኛል። ክቡራትና ክቡራን፣ ከመማር ማስተማሩ ጎን ለጎን ዩኒቨርሲቲያችን በምርምርና ማህበረሰብ አቀፍ አገልግሎት የበላይ የሚያሰኝ ተግባራትን እያከናወነ ይገኛል። ለአብነትም ከማህበረሰብ አገልግሎት አንጻር በዞናችን ውስጥ በተከሰቱ አደጋዎችና ችግር ግንባር ቀደም በመሆን ችግሮችን ለመቅረፍ መስራቱ፣ በዓለም አቀፍና በሀገራችን ተከስቶ በነበረ የኮቪድ-19 ወረርሽኝ ለመከላከል እና ለመግታት ከገንዘብ ማስጠበቅ አንስቶ የተለያዩ ቁሳቁሶችን ድጋፍ ማድረግና በተለያዩ አካባቢዎች የሚገኙ ማህበረሰብ ክፍሎች ንጹህ የመጠጥ ውሃ ተጠቃሚ እንዲሆኑ ማስቻሉ፣ ለአቅመ ደካሞች የምርት ስብሰባ ስራ መሰራቱ፣ ተጠቃሾች ናቸው። በተጨማሪ እንደ ሀገር የመከላከያ ክብር ኮማንድ በሚል መሪ ቃል በተቋም የገንዘብ ድጋፍ ያደረገ ሲሆን በቅርብም በደባርቅ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ተጠልለው ለሚገኙ ተፈናቃዮች የተለያዩ ቁሳቁሶችና በአፋር ክልል ተጠልለው ለሚገኙ ደግሞ በ2014 አዲስ ዓመት በደስታ እንዲያከብሩ በማሰብ የተለያዩ ለመንግስት የሚውሉ ቁሳቁሶችና ሌሎች ድጋፎችን ማድረግ ተችሏል። በሀገር ደረጃ የተያዘውን አረንጓዴ አሻራ ግሪን ሌጋሲ ለማረጋገጥ ዩኒቨርሲቲያችን በግቢ ውስጥ 2 የምርምር ማዕከላትን በማቋቋም የተለያዩ የፍራፍሬና የጥላ ችግኞችን በማፍላት ለአካባቢው ማህበረሰብ አከፋፍሏል። እነዚህ የምርምር ማዕከላት ለአካባቢው ብሎም ለሀገራችን የምግብ ዋስትና ለማረጋገጥ ፍቱን መፍትሄ የሆኑ የፍራፍሬ ችግኞችን የሚመረቱ ሲሆን የተወሰኑትን ለመግለጽ ያክል በማንጎ ሳይት 2 የማንጎ ዝርያዎች፣ በአቮካዶ ሳይት ደግሞ 3 የተለያዩ ዝርያዎችን በማፍራት ለማህበረሰቡ ደግሞ 10,000 ችግኞችን በመስጠት በአጠቃላይ በአንድ ወቅት ብቻ 40,000 በላይ ችግኞች ተተክለዋል። በአጠቃላይ ዩኒቨርሲቲያችን ከላይ ለአብነት ጠቀስናቸው የምርምር ላይ ማውጣቶች በተጨማሪ በግንባታ ዘርፉ ግንባታ ከትምህርት ጥራት ጋር በቀጥታ ተዘዋዋሪ ስለሚገኝ በግንባታ ዘርፍና ካለፉት ዓመታት በተሻለ ሁኔታ አመርቂ ውጤት ያስመዘገበ ሲሆን በ11 ወራት ውስጥ በ7 የሚጠጉ ግንባታዎችን በማጠናቀቅ ላይ ይገኛል። በ2004 ከፍተኛ የሆነ ግንባታ ስራዎችን ወደ 14 የሚጠጉ የተለያዩ ፕሮጀክቶችን ቀርጸን ወደ ግንባታ የሚደርስ ሁኔታ ነው ያለው። የዛሬ መርሃ ግብር መሰረታዊ ዓላማ ይኸው ሲሆን የያዝነው ማለት በ2014 በደብረ ምረቃ መርሃ ግብር የሚከፈቱ የትምህርት ፕሮግራሞችን አስመልክቶ በሚካሄደው የግምገማ ውይይት ላይ ያላችሁ እውቀትና ልምድ ተጠቅማችሁ ገንቢ የሆነ አስተያየትና ግምገማ እንደምታካሂዱ እምነቴ የጸና መሆኑን በመግለጽ ጥሩ ቆይታ እንደምናሳልፍ የተመኘው ይህንን ፕሮግራም ስኬታማና መሆኑን እንዲሆኑ ከፍተኛ አስተዋጽኦ ላደረጋችሁ አካላት በዩኒቨርሲቲ ውስጥ ምስጋና በማቅረብ እንኳን ደስ ያላችሁ ለማለት እወዳለሁ። አመሰግናለሁ። በመጨረሻ የተከበሩ አቶ አሊ ክልል ቁልፍ ምልክት እንዳስተላልፉ በክብር ወደ መድረክ ሸኙልኝ ጠይቃለሁ። አመሰግናለሁ።
ዶክተር ኢንጂነር ቶፊቅ ጀማል የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ፕሬዝዳንት፣ ክቡር ዶክተር ዱንካና ንጉሳ በከፍተኛ ትምህርት አግባብነት ጥራት ኤጀንሲ የጥራትና ኦዲት ማጎልበት ዳይሬክቶሬት ዋና ዳይሬክተር፣ ክቡራን የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ምክትል ፕሬዝዳንቶች እንዲሁም የሴኔትና የካውንስል አባላት በሙሉ ክቡራትና ክቡራን፣ በቅድሚያ ይህ መድረክ ሀገራችን ኢትዮጵያ ዲሞክራሲያዊ፣ ሰላማዊና ተአማኒነት ያተረፈ ምርጫ አካሂዳ አዲስ መንግስት በመመስረት በአዲስ ተስፋና በአዲስ ምዕራፍ መዋቻ ላይ ባለንበት ወቅት እንዲሁም በሀገራችን ለ14ኛ ጊዜ በአዲስ ምዕራፍ በተሟላ ሉዓላዊነት እንደ ሰንደቅ ዓላማ ከፍታ በሚከበረው ብሔራዊ የሰንደቅ ዓላማ ቀን የሚደረግ መርሃ ግብር በመሆኑ የዚህ ታሪካዊ አጋጣሚ ባለቤት በመሆናችን እንኳን ደስ ያለን፣ እንኳን ደስ ያላችሁ ማለት እወዳለሁ። ክቡራትና ክቡራን፣ በዛሬው ዕለት ከእናንተ ፊት ቆሜ መልእክት ለማስተላለፍ ያነሳሳኝ ዋነኛውና ትልቁ አጀንዳ ትምህርት ሲሆን እንደሚታወቀው ትምህርት የአንድ ሀገር እድገትና ብልጽግና ቁልፍ መሳሪያ በመሆኑም ሀገራችን ኢትዮጵያ በእውቀት በስነ ምግባር የታነጹ ዜጎችን ለማፍራት የትምህርት ስርዓቱን በማሻሻል በቅርብ ጊዜ አዲስ የትምህርት ፍኖተ ካርታ ተዘርግቶ ወደ ስራ መገባቱ ይታወቃል። ከዚህ አንጻር የከፍተኛ ትምህርት ተቋማት ወቅቱ የሚጠይቀውን እውቀት ክህሎትና አመለካከት በማጎልበት ከሀገራዊ ሁለንተናዊ ፍላጎት ጋር የሚጣጣምና ብቃት ያለው የሰው ኃይል በማፍራት የሚካሄዱ ጥናትና ምርምሮችን ከቴክኖሎጂ ሽግግር ጋር አቀናጅቶ የማህበረሰቡን ሁሉ አቀፍ ችግሮች በመፍታትና ለውጥ በማምጣት ሁሉንም ያማከለ የትምህርት ስርዓት በመዘርጋት ትምህርትን በጥራት በመስጠት መደገፍና ማስፋፋት ዋነኛ የከፍተኛ ትምህርት ተልዕኮ እንደሆነ ይታወቃል። የከፍተኛ ትምህርት ተቋማት ብቁና የተማሩ ዜጎችን ለሀገር ከማፍራት ባሻገር የሚሰጡት አገልግሎት ዘርፈ ብዙ እንደሆነ ይታወቃል። ከዚህ ዓላማ አንጻርም የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ዘርፈ ብዙ ስራዎች በመስራት የበኩሉን የማይተካ ድርሻ እየተወጣ ይገኛል። ለአብነትም በማህበረሰብ አገልግሎት ለአካባቢው ማህበረሰብ እያበረከተ የሚገኘው አስተዋጽኦ ተጠቃሽ ነው። በዛሬው ዕለት አዲስ ለመክፈት የታቀዱ የድህረ ምረቃ መርሃ ግብር ስርዓተ ትምህርቶች ግምገማን አስመልክቶ የተዘጋጀው ይህ መርሃ ግብር የዚሁ ተቋማዊ ዓላማ አንዱ አካል ሲሆን የእነዚህ መርሃ ግብሮች መከፈትን የተማሩ ዜጎችን ከማፍራት ባሻገር በመላው ሀገሪቱ ላሉና በአካባቢያችን ለሚገኙ ልዩ ልዩ የማህበረሰብ ክፍሎች የተሻለ የትምህርትና የስራ ዕድል ይዘው የሚመጡ እንደሚሆን አምናለሁ። በተለይም ለአካባቢው ማህበረሰብ በቅርብ ርቀት ላይ የትምህርት ዕድሎችን እንዲያገኙ በማድረግ በኩል የሚጫወተው ሚና ከፍተኛ ነው። ከዚህ ባሻገር በሚከፈቱት የድህረ ምረቃ መርሃ ግብር ትምህርት ክፍሎች በመግባት ትምህርቱን የሚከታተሉ ዜጎቻችን በትምህርት ቆይታቸው በሚያገኟቸው እውቀቶችና በሚያካሂዷቸው ጥናትና ምርምሮች የማህበረሰባችንን ልዩ ልዩ ችግሮችን በመፍታትና ልማታዊ እንቅስቃሴዎችን በመደገፍ የማይተካ አስተዋጽኦ እንደሚያበረክቱ ጥርጥር የለኝም። በአጠቃላይ ዩኒቨርሲቲያችን ከጊዜ ወደ ጊዜ መሻሻሎችን እያሳየ የሚገኝ ሲሆን ይህንንም እያሳየ ያለውን መሻሻልና እድገት ባለቤት በመሆንና በመደገፍ አስተዋጽኦ በማድረግ ላይ ለምትገኙና ይህን የድህረ ምረቃ ስርዓተ ትምህርት መርሃ ግብር በማዘጋጀት ልትሳተፋችሁ ሁሉ በዩኒቨርሲቲያችን ስራ አመራር ቦርድና በራሴ ስም ምስጋናዬን እያቀረብኩ መልካም ቆይታ እንዲኖራችሁ እመኛለሁ። አመሰግናለሁ። ወደ ለሀት ይወስዳል።
እናመሰግናለን። አቶ አሊ ከድር የስልጤ ዞን ዋና አስተዳዳሪና የወራቤ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ምክትል ቦርድ ሰብሳቢ፣ በመርሃ ግብራችን መሰረት አሁን ካሪኩለም በ21ኛው ሴንቸሪ በሚል በተከበሩ ዶክተር አዱላ በቀለ የሚቀርቡልኝ ትንሽ ከሰሩት ስራ አነስ አድርጌ ለማቅረብ ያክል ዶክተር አዱላ በቀለ የፒኤችዲ አሶሺየት ፕሮፌሰር በጀርመኑ በዩኒቨርሲቲ ኦፍ ቤርና ኢታሊ ካሪኩለም ኤንድ ኢንስትራክሽን የአሶሺየት ዲግሪያቸውን ይዘዋል። በጅማ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ከዚህ ቀደም አካዳሚ ምክትል ፕሬዝዳንት በመሆን አገልግለዋል። የማስተርስ ተማሪዎችን በርካታ ተማሪዎችን እያማከሩ የሚገኙ ምሁር ሲሆኑ ካሳለፉት ተሞክሮ አንጻር ለመርሃ ግብሩ በጣም ጠቃሚ የሆነው ካሪኩለም በ21ኛው በሙሉ ያቀርቡናል። ፕሊስ ዶክተር አዱላ ወደ መድረክ።
አመሰግናለሁ። ኦል ፕሮቶኮልስ አር ኦብዘርቭድ። መድረክ አስተዋዋቂው ያለው የሌለው ጨማምሮ ብሎ እንደና ደስታም አመሰግነዋለሁ። በመቀጠል ምናልባት የኔ ፕሬዘንቴሽን ስላይድ ያዘጋጀሁት በእንግሊዝኛ ነው እና አንዳንድ ጊዜ እንግሊዝኛንም አማርኛንም ጠዋት 3 ቃል ስንት ቋንቋ 3 ቃል ብቻ እንደሆነ ያችን እንድጠቀም እንድፈቀድልኝ በዚህ እሺ። So the topic of my speech is curriculum design in higher education institutions, where the important part, curriculum in the 21st century, is part and parcel of it. So these are the outline of my presentation. First, I will speak on curriculum in the 21st century, and then I will go for basic consideration in curriculum design at higher education. This means that what are the things that we need to consider while designing a curriculum for higher learning institutions. What makes it different from the curriculum that we offer for lower secondary school or primary school? That's very important. And thirdly, I will go to the real practice of designing a curriculum. What are the steps that we need to go through in order to design or develop a curriculum? Because I feel that these things are very important for the current topic, particularly for evaluators as well as the owner of the program. Lastly, I will address curriculum design framework. What are the basic components of a given curriculum and how to address this all things. So in this all, I try to emphasize on how to make our curriculum for higher education that fit for the requirement of 21st century. So with this 21st century curriculum should support the 21st century education. The 21st century education. You know that internationally, directions for education is set by UNESCO. Therefore, in 1996, UNESCO has established a task force. Internationally renowned professors, educators, politicians, they came together and they drafted what should education for 21st century looks like. This is the things that they developed. For example, education for 21st century should emphasize learning to know. That's about the knowledge, understanding, what we call it yogurt. That is one. The second, education for 21st century should emphasize learning to do. Learn Mama, learn us. We should know something and keep in our mind, but also we should use that and do our things or what we're supposed to do. Thirdly, look now, only knowledge, only the application of the knowledge is not enough to make a citizen a productive citizen. Rather, they should learn to live together. Therefore, education should also emphasize living together. This is practically the problem we have in our country. This is the problem we have as Africa. This is the problem international organizations have. Different countries have currently. That's why UNESCO emphasizes this as important pillar of education. Lastly, education should emphasize learn to be. Lemon memman. Yanyo abo memman. Lemon memman. What does it mean? It means that we should support our younger generation, our youngsters, so that they cultivate their experience, their potential, and they can be what they can be, or what they're supposed to be. And that's very important. Guidance, direction, inspiring, motivating is very important. Therefore, these all should be set at the school. Therefore, the curriculum should support this all. The curriculum that we are now discussing about should emphasize learning to know, definitely the cognitive aspect. This is common, no problem in regard to this one. Everybody is concerned about the content, isn't it? The application, learning to do. If you are training, like if you are training analytical chemists, this analytical chemist upon the graduation, there is something that they have to do. So they have to be ready and practice right now and then implement thereafter. Second, in all the curriculum, we will emphasize how to make our students to learn to live together with different people quite different from the culture they belong to, the language they are speaking, the color, issue of ethnicity, and so on. Lastly, we should also in our curriculum intentionally and purposefully inculcate some supporting tools so that our students, our graduates, can be what they're supposed to be. So, in short, curriculum for 21st century is a curriculum that supports the development of these all basic pillars, what UNESCO calls 21st century education. Second, curriculum for 21st century support learning for understanding. Look at number. But this one should be quite different from the kind of learning for understanding that's expected at the lower level. This is university, particularly we are discussing about postgraduate program. Therefore, learning for understanding, according to this source, is concerned with one, knowledge development. Learning for understanding, the first pillar is learning for, the knowledge development. I'm not saying acquiring knowledge. This is high learning education. Is this high learning? Particularly, this is about postgraduate program. Therefore, we don't expect students to receive information from textbook or from the teacher, store in their mind, and then give it back where they are required at examination. What Paulo Freire has said, the banking method. Rather, we expect the students to construct their own understanding out of the material they are provided with, out of the environment organized for them to interact with and learn something out of it. So the student must personalize, internalize the lesson, the things to be learned. That's learning, developing knowledge. Again, that's not the end. Once they develop the knowledge, they have to use that knowledge, the knowledge which is developed, in order to solve the problem. Look, we expect them after graduation to solve the problem related to their life, related to their duty, related to their profession. Isn't it? Therefore, they have to do it while in school, while in higher learning institutions. Then, again, this is not enough. Learning for understanding involves using the developed knowledge in order to produce or create new knowledge. That's what's required from particular postgraduate stages, a new knowledge, producing the new knowledge. It can be through research, it can be through the courses, anyway, or some practical activity or theoretical activity, but there must be, or project activity, but there must be an opportunity in the curriculum for graduate students to apply the knowledge that they learn in the program or in the course to create another new knowledge. That is learning for understanding. Lastly, look now, they develop the knowledge, And then using the knowledge, they can solve the problem. Using the knowledge, they create a new knowledge. And then finally, they have to communicate the knowledge produced, the problem solved to the relevant stakeholder in the language they understand. Am I right? PhD holder, master holder, they expect to interact with people of different level. Therefore, they have to learn how to communicate those knowledge, those problem solving in a way people can understand it easily. That is again the one pillar of learning for understanding, which is the characteristic of higher learning institution, again, which is the part and the parcel of curriculum for 21st century. Thirdly, curriculum for 21st century must support the development of 21st century skills. There are basic skills, very important skills, important for the world currently, particularly in 21st century. These are the skills. Actually, I compiled from different literatures. For example, the first one is about employability skills or transferable skills. And this skill is a kind of a skill which is very important for graduates first to get a job. Second, to be effective in the workplace, to make their company productive, the organization productive, to contribute for the development of their community. So these are like general cross-cutting skills. It is important for chemists, pedagogists, politicians, engineers, whatever discipline you follow. One is, for example, communication skills. Oral, both oral, and written communication skills. Second, teamwork, working along with others. Problem solving skills. Decision making, timely making decisions, informed decisions. Leadership skills, time management, and so on. So these are called employability skills. So all employees need these skills in order to be effective in their workplace. Therefore, the curriculum in 21st century should support the students so that they can develop these skills while in school. Second is information literacy. You can call it technology literacy, particular information literacy. Nowadays, innovations are really coming up now and then. We are full of information, full of innovation. So you can't teach everything at once to your students. Because what is important today may not be important tomorrow. So there are millions of innovation, new ideas coming up within a second. You know the influence of social media, for example, and other factors too. Therefore, information literacy means that the student or the graduate should be able to know when they need information. They should learn to identify the source for the information. After identifying the source where they can get the information, they have to validate, check the reliability of the information, the accuracy of the information. They have to take the information then as data. They have to use that data to produce new knowledge, and then finally to communicate. That is called information literacy. It goes with technology. Am I right? Therefore, again, this is important if we want our graduates to remain active learners, lifelong learners. We have to give this opportunity so that they can practice to search for source of information by themselves, and then to evaluate the validity of the source, to take the information out of it, to produce knowledge out of it, and then finally to use it or to communicate to others. That's very important. This is what we are lacking, and that's why sometimes, particularly university students in our country, When somebody posts something, they take that information as a grant and then they run to action. They lack information literacy. Nobody stops and they think the relevant information. Nobody stops and they think if the guy who posts that information is really genuine. If the intention of that guy is really genuine, leads toward productivity rather than distraction. That's the problem. So it goes with the curriculum. It goes with education that we are offering for our students. Another thing, I already said that we can't teach everything in class or in university. Therefore, we have to teach our students to learn on their own. So independent learning, self-directed learning, learning something, what is required without being taught is very important. So they have to learn that one. We have to have a curriculum that encourages our students to go in line with that direction. Another thing is motivation for learning. There is a saying, heat a metal when it is hot so that you can bend it in the way you want. Or you can take a horse to a river, but you can't make a horse drink a river, isn't it? So motivation for learning is very important. So we have to think how we can motivate our students so that they can learn on their own. They can be information literate. They can engage in evaluating their activities, their learning, and they keep on pushing, and then finally develop that as an habit. Once it is developed as an habit, every time they start implementing, they start being eager for learning and relearning. So motivation is very important. So there are different techniques by which we can motivate our students. I can't mention it over here, but we have to keep in our mind. That's very important. So we have to think what to do, what strategy to include in our course, in our program, so that our students can be motivated for learning. Evidence-informed decision, or what critical thinking, is very important again. Thinking about our own thinking about the things that we are doing. What's wrong with it, what is good with it, what should be improved, and how to improve it. This critical thinking is important. So when to develop again in school, through project, through activity, is the curriculum ordered for that. Another important thing of skill for 21st century is resilience, ability to work under pressure and a difficult situation without giving up your mission or your vision. Again, that's very important. You know, sometimes people, they start something, they face a challenge, and then they stop. That's the impact. Those people are not resilient. Not resilient. Another people who are resilient, they start their activity, they face a problem, then they adapt themselves to the problem, and they start working under the same circumstance until they overcome. So the question is, where to teach our students about this thing? It is through at school setting, through curriculum that we prepare and provide for our students and teachers. And if the teachers take the curriculum and apply it the way it is designed. So challenge must be there. Working to meet the deadline must be there. Asking people, referring to different materials, working in a day night must be there. If some people learn, or our students learn, to work under pressure, that's resilience. So that's very important again. Creativity is there. Creativity is another important aspect of 21st century skills. Creativity is clear, the concept is also clear. Again, that issue has to be inculcated in the curriculum. For example, there must be methodology, approach, styles, the way we provide feedback, the way we organize the students to work together, a kind of output we expect from our students that makes them either creative enough or killing their creativity. It goes with actually philosophy, but very important. And nowadays, developed countries are more or less focusing on that one too. Lastly, lifelong learning, habit of learning. Always thinking to learn, to learn, to learn. Learning lifelong, no limit for learning. It's not about going with master's PhD, not only lifelong learning, going with PhD after PhD, postdoc, and so on and so on. Rather thinking that you are still a student. There are something issues that you do not know. There are problems that need to be tackled in a different way. So you have to fit that, you have to learn always. And sometimes unlearn something which is not important. That's lifelong learning skills. So these four things, particularly 21st century skills, the one that I mentioned from 1 to 8, most of the time we can construct a course for this, put the student in the classroom and teach them so that they can develop these skills. These skills, by the way, they are developed, they can't be acquired. We can't lecture so that our students can develop those skills. Rather, it is the way we instruct, with the way we organize the course, the curriculum, and implement that leads our students to come up with these all skills. So therefore, design of instruction matters. Design of instruction matters. Design of the curriculum matters. It must support this is the development of this skill. I repeat, but most of the time the problem we have, particularly in Ethiopia, you know that there is a roadmap study, then activity, then after roadmap study, we are more or less focusing on the technical skills, the subject matter knowledge and the skills, forgetting these all things. You remember about 1 to 5, operative learning. It was the right methodology, but we use it wrongly. As a result, our students are really deprived of the opportunity to develop these all skills. Had it been, as a country, we implement cooperative learning effectively and efficiently, like communication skill, teamwork, problem solving, decision making, leadership, time management, this all can easily be managed through those activities. The other thing in relation to skills needed in 21st century, there is recent stages. If you see this one, World Economic Forum published in 2021, they identified 10 most important skills by 2025, right? Almost after 4 years or 5 years. So according to this study, these are the skills which are very important by 2025, like analytical thinking and innovation, and active learning and learning strategy. Look, not for the student, for worker, because they have to learn actively. And complex problem solving, critical thinking and analysis, creativity, originality, initiative, leadership and social influence, technology use, monitoring and control, technology design and programming, resilience, stress tolerance and flexibility, reasoning, problem solving, and ideation. These are the 10 most important skills by 2025 prediction. So when we categorize these skills by type, it goes with one problem solving, some of them goes with problem solving, some of them goes with self-management, managing ourselves, our activity, independent learning, goal-oriented learning, what I've said, and working with people, teamwork, spirit, technology, and development. These 4 categories of skills are going to be very important by 2025. Therefore, the author said that right now, 50% of employees need reskilling by 2025, particularly employees in the major companies in the developing countries. If a company, for example, want to exist, survive, they have to retrain the 50% of their employees. Again, you remember that the crisis we are, the world is in, because of the COVID in the last 1.5 years. Again, the same study, which is published very recently, this one, it said that right now, because of issues related to COVID-19, there are 5 skills which is very important and employers need. One, communication skill. Second, problem solving, what I said already. Analytical skills. Customer service. Treating customers, including the leaders, the owner of the company, boards and so on. Issue of leadership. These are very important again. Almost, knowledge is very important. Discipline knowledge is very important. Nobody denies that. But for real world of work, right now, the important that is all. So the question is how to enable our graduates to come up to develop those skills. For example, communication skills. How to do it? How to solve about that? Even technology, use of technology. How can we teach, that what we have been doing, which is also practically relevant. At secondary schools, our students are learning ICT as a course. Yes or no? At universities, they are also learning ICT as a course. Isn't it? Is that level? No. Treating as a independent subject may be okay for beginners. But the important thing is to integrate these all into all courses. For example, communication skills. In the communication skills, if in our course we provide activity for our students, so that our students do real activity and they communicate written. And also if we provide our student opportunity to present what they have done in the classroom, eventually they develop communication skills. For example, technology skills, the one that I said. Right now, technology is very important. Unless otherwise our students learn using technology, our teachers teach using technology, we have to make our students technology teachers. Therefore, for example, in each course or each program, at least we need to identify 2 courses that students learn through their approach. Where the teacher sometimes, without going to class, being at his home and they communicate material, communicate face-to-face with students through using technology. You know what has been happening during COVID, isn't it? Particularly what is the reason that we as Ethiopians and also African countries fail. The undergraduate program, what we did, we tried, we couldn't success, and then we sent students back home, is it? But in another country, undergraduate, they send students back home, but teaching and learning process is going on. Because the student, the teacher has a skill, the technology skill. Because from the beginning, they have been learning using this technology. So we don't know what will happen by tomorrow, even right now. So we have to prepare our students in this terms too. We have to design 1 or 2 courses where it is a must to apply technology, where blended approach at least, sometimes face to face, another time at a distance, using technology can be implemented. So the student can easily develop the required skills. Okay. So if I say this about 21st century skills, I will go for basic considerations. The second part of my speech about basic consideration in design of curriculum for higher level institutions. So while developing curriculum or reviewing curriculum, the starting point is our focus. The purpose, the focus of our practice. The focus, the first one, is most of the times the nature and the structure of the knowledge or the discipline. The discipline knowledge. At that level, what must be addressed? What knowledge, skill, attitudinal change must be achieved by the student of that level. That's something which is very important. So the demand is from the discipline side. What are innovations that has to be coming in? Second, sometimes if we forget others and only focus on discipline, our students are going to be good in knowledge in terms of discipline that they studied, but they purely apply the knowledge that they achieve. They purely solve a problem existing in the community. Or sometimes the curriculum we decide that may be beyond their capacity or below their capacity. Therefore, the second focus must be need of society. What kind of knowledge, what kind of skills, what kind of attitudes are required, demanded by society? What knowledge, skill, attitude, and change the society demands for the graduates? That has to be the important point. So when I say society, it includes the country, the local community, and so on. So the curriculum must be responsive to the demand of the country. It goes with the development direction of the country. Second, the need of the learner. What about the learner? Where are they in terms of the subject matter of the university? In terms of language of medium of instruction? In terms of habits? In terms of motive for learning? In terms of academic preparation for the lower level? We need to consider that one. And then we have to balance, the overlapping sector. So the need of subject matter, the need of society, the need of the learner must be balanced. This must be something that the university must look into. Second, once we decide on the need, that the gap, what must be fulfilled, we need to focus on the purpose and objectives of the program, and also objectives of the cost. These are this one, cognitive, focusing on gaining of knowledge. What knowledge must be addressed in order to fill in the gap that we identified through need assessment, in terms of the need of the subject matter, in terms of the need of the society, in terms of the need of the learner. Second, in addition to the knowledge, we need to address the affective part, the feeling part, the attitudinal part. What kind of change we need to bring in the thinking of our students, in the perspective of our students. What we want them to unlearn and then to learn. The affective. Most of the time, we forget about this one. Lastly, we need to think about the skill, the psychomotor, the skill, the doing, the practical aspects. Therefore, it's believed that most of the time we focus on, cognitive, the knowledge, particularly at the lower level, for undergraduate too. But for postgraduate, we need to more focus on psychomotor, affective, and then partly also knowledge. But always important thing is maintaining the balance. Based on the mission you have, balancing, focusing is the scope of cognitive, affective, psychomotor is really very important. So, by here, we define our learning outcomes. What we want our students to show or to do right after the program, right after the instruction, if we're talking about this given course. The next step is what are content, what are learning experience that goes with the defined objective. That's very important. So we list them out. If we are talking about the program, course selection now goes here. You select a course that helps you to filter the identifying gap. Here, while selecting a course, identifying the course, our interest is the objective stated in your curriculum. So we should not select a course for a professor, rather the course should select a professor. I say so because this is a common problem we have. Curriculum developers, most of the time, they look, even the evaluators, they look themselves in the curriculum. Which course I'm going to teach, which is mine. Therefore, it has to be 3 credit hours, 12 credit hours. Or my course, not included, so it has to be part of the personal. That's not the problem. Selection of the course will be guided by the identified objectives. Then, once we select the curriculum, content, and learning experience, we have to fit them together, maintaining the logical order. Something simple courses should come first, and then the others follow. Like, for example, related courses to come together, so that students they support each other, then students can learn at a time. That's organization. Finally, we have to think about the methods and the modalities. The methods, what methods in the program to be used in order to help our students to achieve the goal. One of the modalities also, like face-to-face, in the classroom, or at a distance, or blended approach. At this, when I say at this, I'm using either. That has to be decided. Finally, evaluation. How to evaluate whether our curriculum, the curriculum we prepared, can enable our students to learn and achieve or develop the required competencies. At the same time, how to check whether our students achieve the intended objective program through the program, at the same time within the course. So in summary, these are in short the thing that has to be there. Purpose objective has to be there. It should lead towards the selection of the content. Then it should lead towards the methods and modalities and organization. And finally, evaluation. Each of them are informing each other. Regarding the practical steps, while developing the curriculum, these are the steps that we need to follow, and also basic component of the given curriculum. One, needs identification of gap, identification of needs. Why the program is needed? What kind of problem, limitation the program is going to solve or fit in? When we say needs, one, in terms of number of graduates, for example, graduate, what about the market demand? Then you consider, for example, nationally, where is the demand? And then currently, number of universities who are offering the same program, and the number of graduates who are going to graduate within 5 years, 10 years, you see that one. And then finally, we decide that still, this program needs to be in place. Second, what knowledge and the skills are demanded in relation to the program by the labor market? You see the labor market? So in the real world of work, what kind of knowledge, what kind of skills, what kind of activity changes are demanded and needed? Then you pick that one, then you describe as a gap. Once you develop identify the gap of the need, you go to define professional profile. Professional profile. What's professional profile? Professional profile is a kind of knowledge, skills, attitudes required by real professionals who are successful in the real world of work in order to do their job. So you consider senior experts, for example, some people who are well known. Then what kind of knowledge, skill, attitude, and change those well-known people have? Because you want your graduates after 10, 20, or 5 years to be like those people. That's professional profile. So it has to be related with labor market demand. Then finally, graduate profile. The graduate profile, what you want the graduate to do or to show right after graduation. So this is a kind of skill, a kind of knowledge, attitudinal change you expect from your graduate because of the program that you offer them, because of particular curriculum, because you expect the change right after graduation. You know, professional profile, it is a result of one training plus experience plus on-job training plus personal commitment of that particular individual. Isn't it? But it gives us a clear direction and the vision where to go. Then once we decide on this one, the next one is the program profile. Now the component of each program, the component of the program, we will look at it. Finally, the course profile, the component of the course, particularly where we ensure whether those 21st century skills are involved or included in the curriculum or not. We will see them now. Let's start with graduate profile. I will address it again, graduate profile. I already said that competencies of graduate being professionals have as a result of their educational program. So this graduate profile, because it guides your curriculum. One is derived from the gap and the professional profile. Second, this graduate profile leads directly towards selection of courses, selection of area of study. It's very important. Therefore, we need to articulate them in terms of the required competency, in terms of one knowledge. What exactly knowledge is needed. Second, in terms of skills and the tools. Third, in terms of attitudes and the skills, ethics. Fourth, in terms of transferable skills or the 21st century skills, or the 8 skills I listed out. They have to be articulated here. Then, each of cross-cutting issues. For example, our country gender is one, issue of HIV is one, sustainable development, environmental protection is the other, is it? So they have to be addressed here. Now, once you define these four competencies, you can easily go in the search for the course that can enable your student to achieve one or more of these skills. Then, while selecting teaching methods and assessment methods, for example, teaching methods, you can look for the teaching methods that help you in order to address and in order to address the content and let your student to develop those competencies. While selecting the course, I said that select the course should select a professor, isn't it? You look at a professor who has relevant skills that can handle the course with the methodology so that your student can achieve at the end these competencies. So this graduate profile is the basic. You know that during the advertisement, people are making copy-paste of graduate profile of the program and then dispatch to organizations. Because it says that what your graduate can do if they hire your graduates. A program profile under a framework. Okay, I will back to program profile, but the circle is about the component, the real component of the curriculum. What are the integral of the curriculum that you develop? One is a background of the department is covered always when the department established, the number of staff, blah blah blah. Because that is an advertisement, that's very important. It states also for people where the program is situated. Second, objective of the department. What's the objective of the department? You know that the department derives its objective from the university, isn't it? The university has 3 missions: teaching, research, community service. Yes or no? So it has to be cascaded in that way. And then rationale for launching of the program. Why the program is needed? Now, need assessment gap, justification in terms of number, in terms of quality, in terms of required knowledge, skill, and teaching comes here in the form of reporting the curriculum. Finally, professional profile, I said graduate profile comes here. And program profile is the component of the program. One general content area, sometimes it is needed. For example, if your program is general biology, emphasis in general biology, so what are the common area that has to be addressed? For example, like botany, zoology, blah blah blah. Isn't it? This can be mentioned as a general area. Goals for different phases. For example, first year, first semester. What's the goal for that? What you expect at the end of first semester should not be only in terms of the course that they are going to take, rather in terms of the skill knowledge that they are expected to have.
semester 2 and so on, it has to go like that. If your curriculum comes to really, that's wonderful. But we can't find this kind of thing in the curriculum most of the time. So, course breakdown, or the list of the courses. Duration of the program. Is it 2 years? Again, it has to go with the proclamation. It has to go with Senate legislation of your university. Duration, 2 years or 1 year or so on. Graduate requirement, admission requirements. On proclamation, graduating with BSc or BA, having two cumulative of 2 is enough. Okay, fine. I'm not doing. And that's fine. But if you have special requirements for your program, still you can have it. The graduation requirement, degree nomenclature, general teaching and learning method to be used, and modalities, whether blended or face-to-face, or totally online, has to be there. General assessment method, resource profile, if you have relevant people, expert, material resource, if you demand lab, whether you have a lab, the assessment, all these should be there. And if you can fulfill, that has to be again included. Then what is assurance? How you assure the relevance of your program? How you assure whether your curriculum, whether the training, whether the assessment goes with the expected standard. You have to put it there the way you monitor the quality. Course profile, most of the time, before in the curriculum, people, this is the course we create out, and the same category to semester. Course profile left for teachers. So teachers prepare for something. That's not like that. Now, detailed course profile is needed because it is there where you can check and assure whether those competencies you listed out can be entertained or not. For example, the commenting, course name, course code, study load, prerequisite, course policy, course descriptions, objectives, course contents or outline, teaching and learning methods recommended generally for that particular course. For each course, I mean, assessment methods, and a list of learning materials or references the students need to use. And then the important thing is called the schedule. After this all, you need to have a course schedule. For example, if your course has 10 chapters, what's the objective for chapter 1? Then what is the corresponding content for chapter 1? Then what is the teaching method for chapter 1? Modalities for chapter 1. Time allotted for chapter 1. Assessment strategies for chapter 1. Then you go for chapter 2. You put objective, you put a content, you put teaching method, including the description, what is your student required to do or how they learn, and it goes like that. Then it is here where you can check whether all the 21st century skills are, whether they are included or not, whether they can be addressed or not. So once you prepare this, another teacher can pick that course schedule, can implement accordingly, then at the end of the day, those required skills are entertained and your student will have. Thank you very much.
እናመሰግናለን ዶክተር አዱላን ላቀረበልን ፕሮግራሙን መሰለ ጽሁፍ። በመቀጠል ወደ ሻይና ፕሮግራሙን እንወጣና ከ30 ደቂቃ በኋላ እንመለሳለን። ከዛች በኋላ ሁለት ፕሮግራሞች ይኖራል። መልካም ሻይ ቡና።
Mashallah.